person who's had an impact in my life. I guess when I think about that, there are so many throughout my life and my walk.
How my faith has been impacted by someone older. I would have to say my grandfather, my mom's dad. I remember growing up, he was a farmer. They had a lot of land, a lot of beef cattle, but Granddad John always took the time every morning and every evening after dinner. He had one spot on the couch that he sat on with his Bible, and I remember just being at the feet of him, listening to him read scripture aloud to me and explain it to me. I just remember having such this desire to learn more and more about God at that time. And the other special part that just touched my heart with him was my grandmother, I did not know till I was a teenager, could not read. But she could quote scripture, and she had learned that from my grandfather, who sat with her from the time they began dating and got married. And although she could not read fluently, she knew her Bible because he would read to her, and that spoke volumes to me.
I think about my mom and dad, and just they didn't just take us to church, they went with us to church. They was involved with church. They tried to teach us and lead us in our home in the godly way. And so they just had a huge impact in just how they were that example and help us learn those good values and good things. And my mom, even now, is just an amazing mentor for me, and my best friend, and that we can just share. There's many nights I go down and we'll just sit around and play cards or put puzzles and talk about things in the Bible or things that's with our church. So I would say my family, just being able to walk with Christ with my family. Another big thing, when I was a teenager, my uncle had a gospel group, and we would follow them around some. And as we did that, I got to just see the example in his and the other guys that were in that group, just the example of Christ in them, and just how they loved the Lord, and the joy they had, and how they just loved going out and sharing Christ. And it made me want that. I want that. I want to have that joy and that peace, and I want to know that person.
Somebody in our congregation that shows me Jesus is Jean Lambert, because I go over to her house to do yard work sometimes, and she makes us really good sweet tea, and she's nice, and she makes us laugh, and she's so generous, and she does stuff for us that she doesn't have to when we're over there, and I'm thankful that she's in my life.
Someone else would be my aunt, who is now in heaven with Jesus as well. And she is someone who would just be such a light and so positive, and kind of like my second mom. I have to give credit to my mother as well, because she was the one that was instrumental in our family of bringing us up in a Christian home. And
so that really kind of led me into just seeking to know Jesus and who he is. And there's just been so many as I grew from there, churches I attended or friends that I've had. I've been so blessed that the majority of the friends that I've had have been Christians, and I've been truly surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses that have.
To a youth advisor that I had, who was affected by COVID and went to heaven as a result, but he was a man that went through a lot of chronic pain himself, but would always be there for all of us youth, and just encourage us. And those people would speak the word over us, would pray with us, was people we could go to without any precedents or anything or any pretense that we could just talk to and feel comfortable with. So
there's just been a lot that they're too numerous to even name, because I look back now and I remember the song that we sing, The Goodness of God, and how all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you've been so, so good, and how your goodness has running after me. And I just feel like it just humbles me, because I think God, all the things I look back on now, I can see God was placing me in those places with jobs or where I lived or people I met. So just so many amazing things that I'm so grateful for, all the people that God has brought into my life to help me grow.